Let's get on with it.
What's up, Bacon Bacons? You guys watched the little first one or second one I put out?
This should go without saying. DedSec cannot continue its operations if all of its members are comatose or in jail. If something happens to you, that will be the end of the resistance.
I didn't know last time. I was trying to do a freaking mission, failed twice, and now I basically have to make sure that this mission now comes in position, because the only way to pick up members is by oh snap. And again, I'm playing Resistance and pair map, so it's a lot harder. I need to find a car, and I haven't played this game in like forever, so just trying to remember how all the buttons work, and then hopping right into this game. Of course, just, is this an automatic? Wait, hold up.
Nibbling away on the rotting carcass of a once free Britain.
Yum yum.
Hello, Resistance fans. You're listening to the Punk Podcast, the objective voice of objection for this most objectionable world. I am Andy, not my real name, so good luck finding me, Monsieur Marie. My real name is, in fact, Andrew, and I live in, note this down, a deluded pseudo-reality of my own making, which is, in fact, the most densely populated place on Earth these days, overcrowded, some might say. Joining me, as always, my next-door neighbour in these Netherlands of nonsense, it's Alice.
Yes, indeed, it is Alice. Alice, who the bleep is Alice? I am not going to tell you that. But
you can just sort of sense it from the timbre of my voice.
Alright.
Occupation? Check. Drone? Check. This could be the one.
They look promising.
Oh, they have a beastly drone friend. I mean, the person looks sufficient too.
Alright, let's just pick her up, because she's a smoker.
You seem smart. Like someone who understands what's really going on here.
Are you a part of DedSec? Perhaps you could help me.
That's what we're here for. What's going on?
I needed help and was desperate enough to borrow from Clan Kelly. Now I'm basically their indentured servant until my debt is repaid. Please help me get out from under them.
All right. Leave it with us.
Clan Kelly will bleed our new friend dry if we don't do something. This particular construction site is a money laundering front for a Kelly chapter out of Camden Market. Any record of the debt would be stored there.
Copy.
This should go without saying. DedSec cannot continue its operations if all of its members are comatose or in jail. If something happens to you, that will be the end of the resistance.
efficient, it turns out, as a means of stopping immigration. We need to extend them by about another 11,000 miles, a full wrap around Great Britain, and they could do with being about 1.5 kilometres higher as well, with a special greasy coating to stop people clambering over the top or however they get in. Here's a quick joke for you, Alice, about immigration. Did you hear the one about the woman who went into the immigration processing centre and was ever seen again?
No, Andy, I didn't hear that one.
Boom. Set up. Punchline. For those of you unfamiliar with it, the immigration processing centre is, of course, where so many of our guests to Britain go for a longer than desirable game of involuntary hide and seek. You are listening to The One. I will conclude by saying, out of all the things wrong with Britain today, I think immigration is right up there, Alice. When you think of all the health professionals we've stolen from overseas,
Good Lord. Clan Kelly has the whole entire market under control. When did that operation get so big?
You're looking for a terminal or some kind of device that Clan Kelly would have stored the debt records on. Don't have the right tool for the job? You can exchange your gadget for a different one that's better suited to the situation. Right, you can erase all record of their debt, putting our new friend back into the black and, more importantly, out of Clan Kelly's reach.
Fantastic.
I secured the intel.
Good work. Taking this data is top priority.
Guarding this data feels stupid to me.
Nobody cares about what you like or don't.
Right, putting a stop to this spider drone. Stop that. Lock it down.
Look around. Keep your guard up. Drone, search.
Run a search. Hey, drone, run a search.
It's clear. Moving on. Ban out and find this cockroach. This fool is testing my patience. Can't see anything.
Yeah, I think that's that. Stop looking. While the drones observing your every move might make you feel like you're living in a city-shaped prison, what's bad news for society is good news for DedSec. You can hack those nosy little buggers and use them to scout ahead.
Drone, begin a search. I'm not seeing anyone.
Right, you're going to raise all record of their debt, putting our new friend back into the black and, more importantly, out of Clan Kelly's reach.
Fantastic.
Must have given us the slip.
Transfer complete.
We cleared your marker with Clan Kelly. You are indebted no longer. I hope you can do something positive with his new lease of life.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank you, dears. They slander your name in the streets, but I'll be sure to sing your praises from now on.
Want to put your skills to good use? DedSec is always up for new blood.
Right. Count me in.
This should go without saying. DedSec cannot continue its operations if all of its members are comatose or in jail. If something happens to you, that will be the end of the Resistance.
That's disinformation, that's fake news. And again, we got in a situation where nobody really believed anything. And the trouble is, if you were telling the truth, it's very hard to get your message to cut through all of the noise of all of the disinformation. So like, you remember Out on the Edges, there was this story about when they would take a house by force, they would take any infants and they would crucify them. And that's a great, fantastic, viral story. And how do you counter that story? With the truth. The only way you can counter it is by saying, no, they didn't. And of course, no one wants to spread that story. No one wants to hear that story. They want to hear the sensationalism. They want to hear how people were victims of violence when in fact they weren't. Or they were victims of insurgent forces when in fact they weren't.
The news isn't neutral, it's a battlefield. Here's media researcher and academic Alfie.
The media has, of course, been perhaps the key way in which governments have controlled and influenced their populations. So, totalitarian countries have typically used huge mainstream media outlets to sell one kind of news, one kind of biased news to its population. Of course, the media has always played this kind of key role in methods of state control. I think what's happening now is perhaps even more concerning, where we've previously been in pre-crisis Britain, we had perhaps more diverse voices in the media, but now with the GBB, you're really only seeing one brand of news and therefore only getting one truth. So people end up with a very biased and controlled idea of the reality and the world that we're actually living in. There was, of course, many concerns and many problems, but in a way there were some positive things that, like, not all information was coming from one place, and so you'd have kind of far-right media outlets developing and then left-wing media outlets developing to combat those and kind of challenge the main...
This should go without saying. DedSec cannot continue its operations if all of its members are comatose or in jail. If something happens to you, that will be the end of the Resistance.
More fake information, it also makes us suspicious and sceptical of information and makes us question the information we're getting. And I think in pre-crisis Britain, it might not have seemed great at the time, but there was something positive about that there was a lot of distrust in the media and in the different kinds of truths that were being told. Whereas now, I think you're seeing a return to a more traditional and older pre-digital sense, actually, of people just trusting what they're told, and that's why we have to be here with radio stations like this to challenge those conceptions. Most citizens feel pretty hopeless, I think, and unable to fight back against these kind of huge mainstream corporations that simply entrench and support the ideals and ideologies of the state. It can be very basic indeed, but I think
Why does this always bloody happen?
Will you relax a second?
Nah, thanks. I'm not interested.
Hey, so just stay calm. Come on, man.
Seriously,
Let's just
come on.
chill.
All right?
The DedSec resurgence have prompted Parliament to approve the use of lethal force for Albion contractors. CEO Nigel Cass had this to say.
DedSec terrorists will quickly find that Albion, unlike the police force of this city, is battle-tested and proven in the field.
The Prime Minister's office has called this shoot-to-kill mandate a drastic but necessary...
What a time we are living in. Here, your new kit.
Quite the commitment, isn't it? From this point on, I'm DedSec. Nothing about my life will be normal.
What's normal? When the people that are meant to protect us can now murder us.
It's awful, and someone has to clean up this mess. But can I just leave everything behind?
You aren't leaving anyone behind. You're making London safe so people can have a life again.
Right. Well then, I'm ready.
Welcome to the Resistance.